How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we're going to talk about the dust up, the brouhaha, the kerfuffle that happened at the White House between Donald Trump, Chuck Schumer, and Nancy Pelosi over the border wall funding. Now, this is pretty interesting. It got heated. It was a debate. It was supposed to be closed doors, but when Schumer and Pelosi got there, you had press, cameras, all of that, streaming, taking pictures. So it became a very transparent, to use Trump's words, meeting about the border wall, security, House votes, Senate votes, etc. Before I get into my opinion about it, what I'm going to do right now is go ahead and roll some video. It won't be the full thing. That's about 16 minutes, almost 17 minutes long. I'll place that in the box. I'll play about 3 minutes here, and you'll be able to see the majority of what's going on. The original video started with Trump talking for about 5 to 6 minutes about the whole situation, and then enters Nancy Pelosi, and then enters Chuck Schumer, and then there's a few questions at the end from the press. But we're going to see the part that has Pelosi and Schumer and Trump going back and forth. After we get done with that, I'll wrap it on up with a nice bow on top. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
There are no votes in the House, a majority of votes, for a wall. No matter where you start.
Exactly right. You don't have
If I needed the votes for the wall in the House, I would have them in one session.
Well, then
would
go
be
do
done.
it. Go do it.
It doesn't help because we need 10 Democrats in
No,
the
don't
Senate.
put it on the Senate. Put it on the negotiation.
Okay, let me ask you this, and we're doing this in a very friendly manner. It doesn't help for me to take a vote in the House where I will win easily with the Republicans.
You will not win.
It doesn't help to take that vote because I'm not going to get the vote
Don't put
of
it
the
on
Senate. I need
Mr.
10
President.
senators.
The fact is, you do not have the votes in the House.
Nancy, I do. And we need
Well,
border
let's take the
security.
vote, we'll
Nancy,
find out.
Nancy, we need border security. It's very simple.
We do not want to shut down the government. You have called 20 times to shut down the government. You say, I want to shut down the government. We don't. We want to come to an agreement. If we can't come to an agreement, we have solutions that will pass the House and Senate right now and will not shut down the government, and that's what we're urging you to do. Not threaten to shut down the government, because
you don't
let
wanna
me
shut
just
down the
finish,
government, Chuck.
because you can't get
The
your
last
way.
time you shut it down, you
Yeah,
got
let
killed.
me say something, Mr. President. You just say, my way or we'll shut down the government. We have a proposal that Democrats and Republicans will support to do a CR that will not shut down the government. We urge you to take it.
And if it's not good border security, I
It
won't
is
take it.
very good border
And if it's not
security.
good border
That's what
security,
border
I won't
security
take by
is.
us.
We want to do the same thing we did last year, this year. That's our proposal. If it's good then, it's good now, and it won't shut down the government.
Chuck, we can build a
But that's
much
it.
bigger
Let's-
section
let's
with
debate-
more money.
let's debate in private.
We need border security. The wall is a part of border security. You can't have very good border security without the wall, no.
And the experts say you can do border security without a wall, which is wasteful and doesn't solve the problem.
It totally solves
But
the
I don't wanna
problem.
When the president brags that he won North Dakota and Indiana, he's in real trouble.
When I
did.
Let me say, came in here in good faith, and we're entering into this kind of a discussion in the public view.
But it's not bad, Nancy.
No.
It's
but
called transparency.
I know, it's not transparency when we're not stipulating to a set of facts, and when we want to have a debate with you about saying we confront some of those facts without.
You know
saying
what?
to the
We need
public,
border security.
this
That's
isn't
what we're going to be
true.
talking about, border security. If we don't have border security, we'll shut down the government. I also know that, Nancy's in a situation where it's not easy for her to talk right now, and I understand that, and I fully understand that. We're going to have a good discussion, and we're going to see what happens. But we have to have border security.
Mr. President, please don't characterize the strength that I bring to this meeting as the leader of the House Democrats who just won a big victory.
Elections
But
have
let me-
consequences,
let me
Mr.
just-
President.
Let me just say.
That's right.
let
And
me
that's why
just
the
say
country's
this.
doing so well.
But the
Because
president,
we shouldn't shut down the government over a dispute, and you want to shut it down. You keep talking about
The
it.
last time, Chuck, you shut it down.
No.
And then you opened
20
it up very
times.
quickly. And
20
I don't want to
times.
do what you did.
20
But,
times you
Chuck,
have called for, I will shut down the government if I don't get my wall. None of us have said.
You want to know something?
You've said
Okay,
it.
you want to put that on
You've
my...
said it.
I'll take it.
Okay, good.
You know what I'll say? Yes. If we don't get what we want, one way or the other, whether it's through you, through a military, through anything you want to call, I will shut down the government.
Okay, fair
Absolutely.
enough.
And
We
I am
disagree.
proud, and I'll
We
tell you what,
disagree.
I am proud to shut down the government for border security, Chuck.
Okay, so you saw that. You see what's going on. Now, to explain what's happening here, if you don't quite understand, Trump wants $5 billion in border wall spending. He wants to be able to build a wall, build it high, build it all the way to the heavens to keep the illegal people out, the drugs out, the human trafficking victims out, to reduce the crime that happens at the border. That's what he wants. But Schumer and Pelosi are on the left. They're Democrats. They're saying, no, that's immoral. That's wrong. We only want to give you $1.3 billion. That's going to be enough to take care of basic things. Border agents, maybe increase fencing, not a wall, certain technology that experts say is appropriate. They don't really want to give him the $5 billion. So when you see Nancy Pelosi challenging him, talking about, well, since you have the votes in the House, go ahead and put it out there. He's like, why would I do that when I know that I can't get the votes from the Senate? Chuck Schumer is a Senate minority leader. You need to get Chuck Schumer and his people on board in order to have the bill passed. And since Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi, who will most likely be the next Speaker of the House come January, since they are against the wall, it makes no sense for him to bring the vote to the table. I guess we're trying to say, well, bring the vote to the table and we're going to negotiate. Basically, what's going to happen in their mind, what they want to happen in their mind is this. Trump brings the vote to the House. The House approves it for the $5 billion. Once it gets to the Senate, it's going to hit a stone wall because you don't have enough votes. And then they're going to put in amendments and changes and stuff like that. They're basically going to water it down. Okay, they want to start a negotiation point, but Trump's like, nah, let's go ahead and get that $5 billion for the wall right now. Okay, maybe they will end up negotiating. Maybe the $5 billion is a starting point, but I think that in the end, Trump will be able to get much more than what they want. You saw where Nancy Pelosi tried to characterize this whole thing as a Trump shutdown, because Trump's like, look, if we can't get the votes that we need, if we can't get this agreed upon, I'll shut the government down. I'll own that. And then she was saying, well, most of the American people don't want the government to shut down. That's not even really true. Most American people don't even understand what that really means. Who cares if the government shuts down? Most people that want the wall just want the wall. They don't really care too much about any of this other stuff. They don't even really understand what she's talking about. So when she says most American people, she's not being honest at all. If she is being honest with herself, then she's just out of touch, because the reality is much different than what she believes, if she believes it, which I don't. I like what Trump did here. Some may say that it was kind of childish. Yeah, people talking about Mike Pence's face in it. They were trolling him, talking about, I wish I wasn't here, all this, that, and the third. I like what Trump did. You're showing the process of how it happens publicly. Being transparent, what's wrong with that? Do you want every meeting that concerns your life, your liberty, your pursuit of happiness to happen behind closed doors? Or do you want it to be out there in public so you can see what's going on and have it be broken down to you in a very simple way, like how Trump did? He said it over and over again. What's the point of bringing the vote to the table if I don't have the votes from the Senate? And he pointed to Chuck and he said, I need it from you. That's because he is a Senate minority leader. People are beginning to learn more and more about politics because it's out there and open for people to see. It's not hidden in lawyer language, legalese. It's not hidden in closed door meetings like what happened with James Comey. It's out there in public, on TV, every day. It's become interesting. It's become entertaining. It's become informative, which is the most important thing. So if the government shuts down, oh well, so be it. I think we'll eventually get the border wall funding, because Schumer and Pelosi, they're already kind of right there. They're trying to give some money, but they don't want to give a lot. One thing Trump said about Pelosi not really being able to talk too much is because she still has to become confirmed as next Speaker of the House. She still is going through that whole process. So if she was to right now say, okay, Trump, we'll give you some more money for the wall, we'll, then it'll look bad on her. If she was to say you have the votes in the House, that'll look bad on her, because she's trying to be the Speaker of the House and she has to get selected for that by them. So if Democrats are upset with her for not toeing the line by really rebuking Trump, then that's going to be a bad look on her. And I'll add this last thing before I leave. The media has been really shameful covering this. The late night talk show hosts at this point have become part of the mainstream media. That's just their entertainment wing. You know, if you have a CNN, NBC, ABC News, you also have their counterparts, which are the late night comedy shows, talk shows, or whatever. At one point in time, you could watch a late night talk show and be entertained with musical guests and really light topics, news related. But now it's just an extension of the news. You know, you watch the news at night at about 6 p.m., 7 p.m., and that's pretty much it. You expect to be able to see different kind of stuff late at night, but they also attack you late at night with these politically driven, biased messages from these liberal networks. Okay. Aside from that, you also had some of these online papers, regular print papers, with these salacious headlines talking about Trump mansplained to Nancy Pelosi. It's like, really? Washington Post, New York Times? Are we going to do this? Are we going to reduce ourselves to these Twitter meme headlines for your actual newspaper? I mean, the world has really just kind of gone bonkers. Trump derangement syndrome is real. Please find a cure. And some of that money that we're going to have going towards the border wall should be earmarked for victims of Trump derangement syndrome. That's pretty much all I got. So what say you? Do you think that it'll be okay if Trump shuts the government down to get more money for the border wall? Is it not okay? Do you think that there's no wall needed? That it's racist to have a wall? That it's somehow, attacking oppressed peoples of color? You're trying to keep brown people out. How do you feel about illegal immigration in general? One thing I want to say that's kind of funny as I close for this time is that you have all these people out here protesting on behalf of illegal immigrants. But when was the last time illegal immigrants did anything to help you? Anytime you see an illegal out there trying to protest, fight, whatever, it's for their own self-interest. And that's the way it should be for everybody. Okay? You should fight for your own best interest as an American citizen, and they should fight for their own best interest as an illegal alien. If it was me, if I'm the president, if I'm the ruler, if I'm the king, if I'm ruling by fiat or whatever, and I see a bunch of illegals out there talking about we're here, we're illegal, we want rights, we want 50 grand in cash, or if they're talking about that, I'm like, you know what? All right, I got this high powered water hose right here. We're going to go ahead and just blow you right over the wall, build it, and keep you there. That's how I would do. But we should be more humane and just have the wall be built so nobody can get through it. And if you're here illegally, we'll kindly escort you back to your country of origin or to somewhere over the wall and have that be that with no kind of violence, no fuss, no muss. But whatever your comments are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.